Hi guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So today we're going to be doing a detailed reading all about your career, which is a highly requested topic right now based on how many likes this comment got on a recent video. I do have a little breakdown planned for today's reading, but I do want to leave it pretty open so that you receive whatever messages you need to know right now about the current situation in your career or the future energies or just any advice that you might need to navigate the road ahead. So there are 3 readings to choose from today, and for each group there is a different crystal moon. So I'll show you each of these up close one by one, and please pick whichever one you feel drawn to the most. For my group number 1s, we have a Sunstone moon. For my group number 2s, we have a Selenite moon. And for my group number 3s, we have an Angelite moon. Okay, so as always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number 1s, so if you guys chose the Sunstone moon, this is going to be your reading. I should also get a moonstone sun, and then they can be a pair together. Anyway, I wanted to mention something. This is a tarot deck that we're going to be using today, so I had it out on my desk, and when I was getting ready to film, my elbow hit the deck and a single card fell out onto the floor face up. And it was the 10 of Pentacles. So I have a lot to say about this group number 1. As you may know, this is a beautiful card to get in general, but especially in a career reading, because it represents fullness and completion with matters such as career and finances and material goals. So right off the bat, I want to tell you, if you are working towards a goal right now, you will see it through to the end. You will be able to successfully do that, and you will get the outcome that you desire. Literally 111 on the camera timer as I say that. That's the most important message that you need to know right now. I think your guides are bringing this to you because they want you to feel relieved. Okay, you have nothing to worry about. You have built a solid foundation, and I'm hearing there's no way you could mess this up. Whatever it is you're working towards, your guides want you to know you have enough experience under your belt. You have more than enough practice, more than enough studying, more than enough training. Whatever it may be for your particular situation, they're showing me that you've laid a very sturdy groundwork, a very sturdy foundation, and there's no way that you can mess this up. Unless you just don't show up. But as long as you show up, it's gonna be successful. You will see it through to the very end. You in your career journey, okay, so what they're showing me is that it's not necessarily that you experience growth at a slow rate, but the whole journey could take a long time. Now I'm seeing 222. The whole journey could take many years. But within that period of several years, you may actually experience periods of really fast growth. Your journey may look like, a long time pass, a long time pass, a long time pass, and then suddenly you go through a huge surge of exponential growth. I do see you accumulating wealth, but it happens over time. Maybe it's compounding. So it's growing slowly and steadily, but exponentially. There could also be a message here for some of you about building a legacy, building something meaningful and lasting, building something that benefits even your friends, your family, your loved ones, building something that your loved ones are very proud of you for. Building something that gives back to the community. I'm hearing that as well. So this is meaningful not only for you, but for the people in your life and maybe even the community at large. And now I saw 333. It's not uncommon that I look up at the camera timer and see an angel number, but I've seen all of them so far, and I promise I'm not trying to. But I got like 111, 222, 333. And then even just the way this card appeared, it just fell out onto the floor. I wasn't trying to get this card. So I feel like whatever big success or big goal you're reaching here, you're not even really focused on that. You are more so focused on the daily journey of it, okay? So I'm also feeling 8 of Pentacles energy here. I'm hearing like you're more so focused on the daily grind and just really enjoying the journey and enjoying the process. And then as you're going about your life, working hard, putting in the effort, suddenly you have this big breakthrough and you're like, whoa, this is awesome. It's like, it is something you hoped would happen. So it's not accurate for me to say like, oh, I didn't even care. Like I didn't even care if that happened. It's like, no, you wanted it to happen, but it seemed to not be your main focus. When I sit with your energy, it seems like you're more focused on the journey than the destination. The destination ultimately is a result of you putting in the work every day and just really committing yourself to the process. And I do see you accepting this blessing with great humility. I think your career journey and you working towards this goal, it has really helped you mature and possibly even helped your spiritual growth. So yeah, that was one thing I wanted to mention, just the way it fell on the floor, like bloop, here I am, 10 of Pentacles. It was just like, it felt kind of like effortless manifestation. And then also the fact that it appeared before I even pressed record on your reading. So this could very well be happening sooner than you expected. There may be a certain goal or milestone that you projected for yourself. Just for an example, I think in the next 2 years, I can reach this goal. And then it's happening in 6 months or 8 months or whatever. Just saw 555 too. Yeah, it's happening sooner than you think. And now I'm imagining, I'm gonna have to see if this is on YouTube, but I'm thinking of the episode of SpongeBob where SpongeBob takes an art class from Squidward and he just does everything so effortlessly and is like even better than Squidward, even though Squidward is the teacher. Like he just makes a perfect sculpture without even trying, draws a perfect circle. And when Squidward asks him how he did it, he's like, well, first I drew this head. And it's like the most realistic head you've ever seen. You're very, very good at something without trying, or you've practiced so much that it looks like you're not even trying. Like it just looks, you make it look so easy. And some of you, this could just be for some of you, but you may be surpassing like a mentor figure or surpassing a teacher in your knowledge or in your competency. So take that if it resonates, because I'm just thinking of how Squidward was the teacher and SpongeBob was the student, but SpongeBob was like better at art, making more fancy things. All right, so let's leave this card here. Oh, and yeah, let's look at the breakdown for today's reading. So I'm gonna leave it up to spirit. That's why these are pretty short bullet points, but basically we're going to see the energy surrounding your career and we're going to look at a timeline of the present, the near future, and the far future, and we're going to get some advice for you. So without further ado, let's get started. Group number 1, the energies surrounding your career. We have stellium. Okay, this is immediately making me think of putting all of your eggs in one basket, because a stellium in someone's birth chart represents when several planets are in a cluster. They're all very close together, usually in the same sign, in the same house. So a bunch of energy is concentrated in one place. So that might be a reflection of your life or of your endeavors. You are putting like 80%, 90% of your focus towards one thing. If you happen to have a stellium in your birth chart, maybe this is your guide saying that that stellium provides a strength for you in your particular career journey. We have a grand trine. Wow, that is like a beautiful, harmonious flow of energy. So whatever your goals are, the universe is conspiring to bring in circumstances and connections and opportunities that make your journey flow smoother and more easily. I think, I'm just thinking back to that reassuring message from your guides that we got at the very beginning, because they were very enthusiastic about this opportunity to reassure you. Like, you're gonna do great, you're gonna be successful, you're gonna see this goal through to the end. And now they're saying you have taken care of everything you can control. You've taken care of everything that is in your power. So leave all of the rest to us. And it's much easier said than done, but try not to worry about the things that you cannot control, because no matter what our goal is, there's always going to be some elements of it that are out of our control. And when you start to worry about those, it really drains your energy. So your guides want to reassure you, everything that's not in your power, we will take care of it. You just focus on your craft. You just focus on getting better, focus on doing what you love to do, and we will take care of the rest. People of the same sign as you, or people of the same element as you, could be significant to your career. So just for an example, I'm an Aries. So if this is my reading, then other Aries people could be significant, or fire signs, because Aries is a fire sign, the other fire signs being Leo and Sag. So like if you're an earth sign, other earth signs, you get the picture. One more for my group number ones. Woo! I just dropped a bunch of cards on the floor. This is a lot. Something I've been doing recently, if a bunch of cards fall out, because I can't take all of them, is I just count how many came out. So let's see. 9. The number 9 could be significant. A group of 9 people. Life path 9, September or the 9th of a month. Someone with a 9-year age gap from you. Did I already say that? I don't know, but that could also be a thing. Let's try that again. For some reason, I feel like saying that 9 could also be 90%. For example, like getting 90% on an exam, or we were talking about something before, 90% of your effort, or 90% of your time. I don't know. We have Chiron. Reaching this goal is going to be very healing for you. And I also feel like the way it's coming through is that as you work toward this goal, you had to do a lot of healing. But when I say you have to heal, I don't mean this as in the universe assigned you a task to heal. I more so mean it that healing was inevitable. The more you committed to this goal, the more you realized that success in this endeavor is holistic. It's not just about working really hard. It's not just about being really good at it. there's a lot of other areas of my life that need to be in balance too. And I think that the dedication you're pouring into your goal has definitely spilled over into other areas of your life and just made you more dedicated to taking care of yourself and being the best version of you can be, and sort of like falling in love with the daily practice of taking care of yourself and becoming better. Not just better at this one specific thing, but the best version of you overall. It's like if you're pouring so much positive energy into this goal or into this area of your life, your guides are kind of showing me like it's bound to spill over into other areas. And so I think you're going to find the process really healing, or maybe you already have been finding it very healing. And your guides are saying like, yeah, it kind of had to happen that way. It's inevitable. Your guides are talking a lot during this reading, which I'm very grateful for. So I wonder if you guys have kind of particularly chatty guides, or if they are going to be talking to you more in the near future, if you're going to find that channel of communication is more open and more clear. But I'm very happy to have them here. And let's get into the timeline now. By the way, guys, this Oracle deck is, wait, let me restart that sentence. Tarot Stack and I are doing a giveaway of this Oracle deck on Instagram. So if you like this deck and you want to check it out, I will link the giveaway post and you could win a free copy of the Celestial Bodies Oracle. It's the travel edition that we're giving away, and you can see the details from the link down below. All right. Let's see the energies of the present for my group number ones. We have the Knave of Cups, which is the Page of Cups. We have the Fool. Ooh, these are kind of giving new beginning vibes. And we have, wow, we have the Empress. The Ten of Pentacles and the Empress. This is like serious wealth energy. I think that there's a new beginning in your career, but it feels more like a new beginning that is emotional in nature rather than something concrete like I'm starting a new project, I'm starting a new job. For my group number ones, what I'm seeing here feels more like a continuation of something that you've been working on, but the new beginning is of your inner world. So you may be looking at the thing you've been working on with fresh eyes. You may have a renewed love for it, a renewed excitement towards it. I do believe with the Fool here, and this matches very well with what we previously saw, there is a pretty big and unexpected opportunity coming your way. Again, it feels like something you've wished would happen, but that maybe you weren't actively looking for or striving towards yet. Maybe you felt like, oh, that's going to be a bit later in my career journey, but it's one of my goals in the more longer term future. For some of you, oh, this is important. If you have goals that are not very specific, that's okay. You know, sometimes we'll hear manifestation advice that's like, you need to make it as specific as possible. I honestly don't feel like there's a hard and fast rule for this. I really feel like it's case by case. Like, if you don't have a very, very, very specific thing that you want, I don't think you need to force yourself to make it specific. Like, if you just give the universe a general idea of the type of opportunity you want, the universe is pretty good at matching you with something that will be good for you. So, for example, if you are looking for a job and you're not like, I want to work at this very specific company in this very specific position, that's okay. You can just be like, hey universe, this is what I like to do. Can you give me a job? Can you bring me a job that allows me to do this or something in this general field? Like, that's okay too. So that could be the type of opportunity that's coming for some of you. It could even be related to, you know, a company you've never heard of before, a place you've never heard of before, but it does fall within the criteria of something you would like to do. So it's like new, it's exciting, it's kind of unexpected. Yeah, that's very much okay. Like, it's okay to be really specific, it's okay to be really open with your manifestations. The universe will work with you. Like, you're the boss in your own life. Yeah, I think there's this energy of newness, of excitement. I also have this feeling like your heart is full. I think you're just really enjoying what you're doing, and there's a little bit of an element of magic. Life kind of feels magical. There may even be a childlike excitement that is bubbling under the surface when you engage with this new opportunity. There could be a really special day coming up, something that you've prepared for a long time, and the vibes are magical on that big day. It could be like the day of a big launch, the day of a presentation, the day of a performance, the day of like celebrating a milestone. It just feels very magical. And then, of course, we have the Empress. So you have two cards in this reading that specifically talk about abundance and prosperity, particularly the 10 of coins. This is long lasting and very sturdy wealth, like one that you can rely on for a long time. Yes, that is what long lasting means, but you know what I mean. It's not going anywhere. You can rely on it. It really feels like the ultimate security. The Empress, I like the Empress because I feel like she's this type of abundance that, yes, it's material, but it's also emotional and spiritual. So it's abundance in the holistic sense, in the all-encompassing sense. And I feel like she brings a little bit of luxury too, because she's ruled by the planet of Venus. She's associated thus with Taurus and Libra. So we have these beautiful energies of like pleasure and elegance and beauty. So not only is this the type of abundance where you have all of your needs met, but you can also spoil yourself and spoil your loved ones and add a lot of beauty to your life. The Empress, for me personally, feels like your ideal lifestyle, whatever that may be. Having the money and having the resources that you would need to live your dream lifestyle. And I also just heard to travel wherever you want. So someone needed to hear that. And we haven't even gotten into the future yet. This is what's unfolding in the present. So if you haven't gotten this opportunity yet, it's probably coming very, very, very soon. We have the numbers 0 and 3 here. So that could be like from 0 to 3 weeks, from 0 to 3 months. Man, maybe even for some of you, it's like within 3 days, because this is the present. So if it's not now, it's got to be imminent. All right. With that being said, I just saw 2. Let's pull some cards for your near future. Oh, also with a Page and an Empress, that can be a sign of children and parenthood. So you or someone close to you could be having a child or announcing the birth of a child. Oh my God. The Empress came out again. So you have 2 Empresses and a 10 of Pentacles in a career reading. Should we just tell everyone to pick group 1? Okay, the Empress and the 4 of Cups. Yeah, this really, really gives the feeling of something coming to you when you are not actively looking for it. Going back to this stellium, it does seem like most of my group number 1s are pouring a lot of your effort into one place, or you're seeing yourself start to lean more and more towards putting your effort into one place. I'm not going to advise you to do any differently. If you really, really feel committed to one project, to one path, then I think you should stay there. But there could be some room to be made for rest. I am thinking of, I mean, some of you could literally be pregnant. That will probably be very small percentage of people who are watching this, but I was kind of thinking of a pregnant person as an analogy, where it's like you are literally growing someone inside of you, so you need a lot of rest and you need to try to reduce stress and just give yourself a lot of kindness and give yourself a lot of nourishment. Maybe you need to slow down a little bit. And I think that that kind of analogy could pertain to something that you are birthing in the metaphorical sense. You are growing something very meaningful, and you need nourishment, and you need rest, and you need to save your energy. I am all for you giving a big percent of your energy towards one thing, but I would also say, remember that you can overdo it. Like, there is such a thing as working too hard, obviously. And sometimes that can be counterproductive. Another easy example of this is like an athlete. If you train too much, then your performance is actually going to suffer. It's not just this, the more I work on it, the better I'm going to be. Make sure there's also time for rest, because you're growing something really important and you want it to be sustainable. And rest is not just about sleeping, because it's a rest of your mind too. So you need also time with your loved ones, time with your friends and family, time with your pets. Like, you need to give your heart that same recharging as you give your body when you sleep, if that makes sense. You need that time connecting with others and doing things that fill up your heart. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. Things are probably pretty busy and eventful right now for my group number 1s, but I feel like in the near future, things will slow down a little bit, and that will sort of be the cue from the universe. Like, okay, it's time to rest up. It's time to nourish yourself. It's time to nourish your heart. It's time to just do things that are fun and don't necessarily contribute to you meeting a goal or getting better at something. Like, just something that you can completely relax your mind when you're doing. And it's interesting, like we have 3 and 4 here now. We had 0 to 3 here, and we have like 3 to 4 here. I'm thinking of like a 4-week period, and it's like 3 weeks on, 1 week off. That feels really specific though. Like 3/4 of something. You're working hard, or it could even be like you're taking it easy 3/4 of the time, and then the other quarter is working hard. Yeah, just be aware of the tendency of overdoing it. that's going to be in the near future. That's going to be something to think about. Like, it seems like you're really excited about what you're doing, but remember, you want to be able to do this for a long time, and you want to be able to do this while maintaining your well-being. So it's important that you don't overcommit, that you don't fill your schedule too much. For example, that you don't take on too many clients, that you don't book too many appointments or schedule too much practice or too much training or commit to too many projects. Okay, for the far future, did one of these cards flip over? Yes. The Page of Cups flipped over. That's crazy. So the Page of Cups came out twice and the Empress came out twice. This is me from the future. I was just cleaning up after your reading. And look what was at the bottom of the deck. The Ten of Pentacles. So definitely look out for Ten of Pentacles, the Empress, the Page of Cups in readings that you may do yourself or watch in the near future. That's crazy to have like 3 instances of repeating cards in the same reading. That's super cool. And they're all such positive cards. I love that for you. Anyway, back to the reading. This really feels like a parent and child energy. So, is someone having a baby? Or this could also be like the relationship between you and your parents. Maybe like your parents are proud of you for what you're working on, or this could even be like connecting to your inner child, but that dynamic seems to be there. We also have the High Priestess and Justice. Okay, this is getting everything that your dreams have shown you and getting everything that you've seen in your visions. The High Priestess suggests to me that you always kind of knew deep down in your soul that you were going to make it to the end of this journey, that you were going to reach your big goal. You had this deep intuitive knowing that this was a story your soul was going to live out. Justice indicates to me that you are more than worthy of the success that is coming your way. This is not just you getting lucky. This is not the universe blessing you because you're like especially favored in some way. It's very cause and effect. Like, you put in the work, you have the talent, and so your goal happens. Your guides are saying like, of course it would happen. Of course it would happen. And you knew this deep down. This is something that you're worthy of. This is something, the opportunities you want, you need to know that you are fit for them. You are a good match for them. And the universe must reciprocate the energy that you've put in. I'm also thinking of the meaning of justice that can sometimes talk about contracts, and then the High Priestess has this like long scroll. So in the farther future, some of you could be signing a really exciting contract, like with a dream company, with a dream partner, with a dream agency. I just heard like you have a very impressive track record. So I feel like in the present and in the near future, you are building up this track record. You are building up, maybe you're building up your resume, you're building up a portfolio. I'm hearing you're earning a lot of titles. Maybe you're like winning different competitions, or your work is being featured in different places. And so these are all notable accomplishments that you could list. And I just saw someone looking at your list from the past few years. This is like in the future. So what you're building right now, someone's looking at that list and they're like, wow, this is so impressive. And you're landing some really favorable contract. it feels like a long-term contract or a contract that promises you a lot of money with a dream party, whether it's an individual or a company. And again, this doesn't have to be a specific individual or a specific company if you don't have one in mind, but it would still be your dream one in the sense that the conditions are ideal for you, the partnership is ideal for you. It allows you to be exactly who you want to be and work exactly the way you want to work. Yeah, just like very ideal. Justice can also talk about legal issues resolving in your favor. There could also be something here about a contract being revised to be more in your favor, or rules and policies end up changing and then being more advantageous for you. This is beautiful, group one. So let's get some advice to finish off the reading. There's definitely that advice of don't overdo it. I'm tasting Earl Grey tea at the moment. Okay, we have Moon in Aries. Remain sensitive to others to avoid confrontation. And we have Waning Moon. Let go of that which is causing you inner turmoil. Now is a time for casting away emotions that are no longer serving you. So this is interesting because I feel like this Waning Moon is talking about inner turmoil or negative emotions dissipating. And then this is talking about avoiding confrontation. So I want to say think before you speak, or it will always be safer to assume that no harm was meant, or to assume that someone has good intentions. This is not to say, let me be very clear, this is not to say like if you feel like something is wrong, just don't say anything. But if you're like angry or frustrated with someone, it may be better to get those emotions out somewhere else, like whether that's venting to a friend or writing in a journal, and then approaching the party in question in a more calm way. This is going to be different for different people, but you will be glad that you handled the situation calmly. The emotions are valid, but it's almost like strategic to not show them in the actual situation. This is the way I'm seeing it. Let's say the other party really, whatever they did was an accident. They really didn't mean anything bad by it. Then, of course, you're going to be glad you confronted them in a calm and polite way. Because it's like, oh, thank goodness I didn't jump to conclusions and we were able to resolve this amicably. But then, even if you are dealing with someone who, I don't know, maybe they were trying to make things complicated for you. They were trying to sabotage you. They were trying to mess with you in some way. And you still approach them calmly and politely, then they just look like even more of an asshole. You know what I mean? Either way, it's gonna work in your favor if you just approach the situation in a friendly manner. We have Moon in Sagittarius. Be prepared to be adaptable as plans you have laid may take an unexpected course. So there's a lot of indication of an unexpected opportunity coming your way. Again, I feel like this is something you didn't expect would happen this soon in your career, but you are ready for it. Otherwise, it wouldn't be coming to you. Look at this Sagittarius arrow. It's going straight up to the sky. I really do feel like a period of exponential growth is just on the horizon for you. You may have to move some plans around to accommodate and make space for this opportunity in your schedule, including preparation time for the opportunity. Because yes, you're ready for it, but you also may have to kind of stretch yourself a little bit and improve something in a short time to be ready. So if there's another piece of advice I could give you, and I think I already said this, but to not pack your schedule to the brim. Make sure you have some open space, because you never know what unexpected opportunities are going to come your way. And if you are filling up your schedule, I would say at the very least, I would advise against committing to too many things that are not movable, like that you can't rearrange later. Because I feel like something big and exciting is going to come, and then to accept that opportunity, you're going to have to like move some things around. That's how I'm seeing it. So we'll get a couple more oracle cards for you. We have summer. Embark on a new adventure, energy, passion, freedom. So the season of summer could be significant. And we have 21. New opportunities, new beginnings, rid old beliefs, assertiveness, independence, and positive attitude. I'm thinking of the summer solstice, because sometimes it falls on the 21st, like the 21st of June. So that could be a significant time for some of you, the summer solstice. Or the 21st of a month. I also feel like 3 weeks. 3 weeks could be a significant time, because there was something about like 0 to 3. I think for those of you watching this, something's happening very soon. I feel like this is a more near future kind of reading. So take what resonates, but like the next 3 days, the next 3 weeks, or the next 3 months are going to be very auspicious, and you're going to have fast growth in that time. Also, like, feel free to claim all of those, because it could be all of them. You could be getting a big opportunity in 3 days, and then another one in 3 weeks, and another one in 3 months. Why not? Is there anything else I want to say? An Aries moon or a Sag moon could be significant. We had Cancer moon here as well. Venus in an air sign, I want to say. Venus, so that's Venus in Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. And also Venus in a water sign. So Venus in Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. And I think that is everything, group number 1. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my memberships, where you can watch the extendeds that go up every month. You can also watch exclusive full-length pick a card readings, and my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video that is an original song. I'll also have my latest release linked down below. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, your higher self, anyone who appeared in this reading, their higher self, your spirit guides. I really appreciated that they were so vocal during this reading. It's just, spirit guide energy is so lovely. So thank you to your guides for being here, and your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on Earth and any other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hi, number 2s. So if you guys chose the Selenite moon, this is going to be your reading all about your career. So here is a little breakdown that we have for today's reading. We are going to start by seeing the energies surrounding your career, and we're going to look at a timeline of the present, the near future, and the far future. And we are going to get some advice for you as you move forward on your career journey. So without further ado, let's get into it. What energies are surrounding group number 2's career journey? Okay, we have 22 and Scorpio. I think this is like really specific, but I think November 22nd is a date that falls into Scorpio season. So that could be significant, or just like the very end of Scorpio season. 111, as I said that. The very end of Scorpio season, late November, be a significant time. We have first quarter. And we have 11th house. I feel like there's going to be a call to think about how you are influenced by others or how you are influencing others. When I look at 22 and Scorpio together, it's giving me the feeling of someone who is very good at reading other people's energy. So this could be you. You may actually even be a reader, like a card reader or something of that nature. I think you're pretty good at discerning people's intentions or picking up on the subtleties of how they're feeling. I think you're good at reading between the lines, and you understand, you're able to pick up a lot from what is said, but also what is not said, or like the way it's said. You're very good at picking up on those subtleties, and that could be something that helps you in your career. You could be talented at careers that have to do with psychology, or your understanding of psychology could help you in your career, regardless of what field you're in. Like just understanding how people think, how people make decisions, what people want, that will really help you to get ahead. A lot of your ability to progress in your career could have to do with like your ability to understand people, to read people accurately. That's kind of the vibe. But also, for some of you, this could go the other way. Like I do think you have a gift of influencing others, but some of you could also be like easily influenced or impressionable, or you tend to absorb other people's energy. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I feel like it's a neutral trait, but it really depends on who you are surrounded by. So if you're surrounded by people who are very positive, who are motivated, who have a good work ethic, who have a good self-image, who have good habits, who have like a bright aura, then you being easily influenced by them is a great thing. But if you're surrounded by people with negative energy, people who are not motivated, people who are pessimistic, then, or like smaller minded people, then being around them could bring you down to that level. So this is kind of an interesting opening message. Like your spirit guides want to call to your attention who is around you or whose energy you are picking up on. Whether that's people in your workplace, people in your personal life. It could be people on the internet, people on social media, people in society at large. They may be influencing your subconscious more than you think. And you've maybe picked up on some beliefs or some views about your career journey that are not necessarily inherently yours. In this case, that might be something that is holding you back. When I look at the first quarter, I feel like there's something that is growing in your life, but something else I'm picking up on is a bit of a stall, a bit of a pause. It's kind of like you were halfway towards completing a goal or towards getting where you wanted to be, and you sort of got stuck. And I feel like the way to get unstuck has to do with figuring out what energies you're picking up on that are not yours and releasing those. Or an assessment of the team you're with or who you are surrounded by in your day-to-day life. Some of you could be on the right path when it comes to the type of work you're doing, the projects you envision yourself being involved in. But then when it comes to like your business partners or your team or even like the audience that you're marketing yourself to, it may kind of be like wrong is a harsh word, but I just heard like the wrong demographic. Maybe some of you need to take some time to reflect on like what demographic am I trying to market myself to, or what type of team would bring out my best qualities? What type of person do I want to work with? Maybe you've been spending a lot of time thinking about the what and the where and the how, but I feel like the missing ingredient is the who. Some of you will be switching your teams, or some of you will be getting a new teacher or getting a new coach or a new supervisor, or you're starting to look for a different type of client. You're starting to look for a different demographic. The who is the part that needs to change. So I'm giving a lot of examples. I'm sorry if the message is a bit vague, but it could be different for different people, of course, depending on your particular situation. And be aware as well of any subconscious narratives surrounding your career or surrounding your industry. I feel this message from your guides, like you should be proud of the work that you're doing. They want you to be more proud. There may be certain things that you downplay or that you hide or that you don't talk about. Downplaying your accomplishments, not sharing your work, not sharing what you're working on. Feeling like, what's the point of sharing? Some of you used to share, but then learned through some experience like, oh, it's best not to. You may be wary. For some of you, just take this if it resonates, but it's like there's a contradiction in your energy because there's a particular job or industry that you're striving for, but at the same time, you distrust it or you're wary of it. Or you're like, I'm hearing the word side-eyeing. Or like there's a certain industry that you want to be in, and yet you're like judging people in that industry or side-eyeing people in that industry. Like there's a bit of a contradiction between striving and distrusting. And so it gives mixed signals. And then we also have the 11th house. This is your friends, your community, your connections. It's also your long-term goals and aspirations. I think this is really about finding the right team. So maybe this is something that's been heavily on your mind. If you haven't been thinking about this, I really think your spirit guides are bringing this to your attention. I also just heard like certain bad eggs in your past could have given you a bad impression of a job altogether or a bad impression of the industry altogether. But the truth is there's good people and bad people in every industry. There's people who are a delight to work with and people who suck to work with in any industry. There's people who want to lift you up and people who will want to bring you down in any industry. So it's like, it's not fair to make a generalization, even of like a whole company or a whole generalization of people who do a particular job. You just have to find the right people. And I wonder as well if sometimes you are subject to like generalizations made about you based on the work that you do. And then that might be why you don't want to share about it. Like, for example, if I was like, I don't want to tell people I'm a tarot reader because they're going to think I'm like crazy and delusional and woo-woo, you know? Like, the pieces of advice I'm picking up at this point are being aware of how others are influencing you, finding the right people, and being more proud of what you do, and avoiding making generalizations yourself. So I hope that this is making sense. We are going to look at your timeline now. And by the way, Tarot Stack and I are doing a giveaway for this oracle deck. It's the Celestial Bodies Oracle, and we're giving away a copy of the travel edition. So if you like this deck and you want a chance to win a free copy of it, I'll have the giveaway post linked down below. It's on Instagram, and feel free to check it out. So let's start with our cards to represent your present. We have the Seven of Cups. There's more Scorpio energy present. I actually, at the time that this is going up, I think Venus has just entered Scorpio, because this is Venus in Scorpio and the sun is in Scorpio right now. This is going up in November. But even if you're watching this at a later time, I feel like Scorpio season and November are significant. Like maybe next November from whenever you're watching, if you're watching this at a later time. We have the Hanged Man. Okay, that's very interesting because we were talking about a pause or a standstill, and that's literally what the Hanged Man represents. And we have the Five of Cups, Scorpio again. That's the third time Scorpio energy is appearing. There could be a Scorpio person who is really significant to your career journey, or if you yourself have any Scorpio placements, maybe you want to look into those because those could help you get ahead in your career. Water in general is coming through strongly because the Hanged Man is associated with the sign of Pisces. So water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces could be significant. Aquarius as well, because the 11th house is associated with Aquarius. I feel like we're kind of struggling to find our direction right now, because if we look at the Seven of Cups, you can see the cups are spilling and the water is flowing in many different directions. The Hanged Man is literally upside down. Like the water should be down here, it's up there. Feels like the directions are going haywire. And then we have the Five of Cups, and the cups are all spilling in different directions. There's a really specific message that is coming through right now. I feel like some of you were going the right way when it came to your career, and then someone got in your head and was like, no, you should do this instead. And you trusted them, or like you took their word for it. Maybe in a way we're kind of going against your gut, and then ended up feeling like you were led astray. Not because that person's advice was necessarily bad, just that it wasn't for you. You know, we talk a lot about trust your intuition, trust your gut. And some of you, it seems like, have gone through an experience where you learned that the hard way. Like, oh, I should have stuck with my gut. This person could have just been really convincing or really competent with the advice that they gave you. Or maybe they are like someone who has a lot of experience, or they're like an expert something. So you're like, oh, maybe I should listen to this person because they know what they're talking about. But at the end of the day, they're not you. At the end of the day, they can't be inside your head. They can't be in your shoes. And they can't have the final say in what choices you make for your career or for anything. there may be a bit of an overarching energy for this group of others' energy getting in your head and making you confused about what direction to go in your career. And I definitely feel like this is exacerbated with the internet and social media, because it's like everyone is an expert apparently, and everyone is saying something different. And if you don't trust your own instincts and your own gut feelings, it can be really confusing and overwhelming. And that's one of the meanings of the Seven of Cups. There's too much information, there's too much going on, and it's overwhelming. Some of you could also feel kind of paralyzed because there's too many options. You know, it's certainly not always the best to have limited options. Like, if you're gonna go to college and there's only one college to choose from, that's not necessarily great. But if there's like 150 colleges to choose from, that's also like, it's just, our brain cannot compute. And some of you may sometimes feel like you're drowning or like it's overwhelming. There's too many paths, there's too many options, I don't know what to do. And it feels like something or someone, some outside influence kind of got in your head and maybe led you in a direction that wasn't fulfilling. I don't want to say that was wasted time, because every experience is valuable. And I personally think, like, if this is your destination, that doesn't mean the right path is a straight line there. This could be the right path. Like going off course and coming back and making a detour and coming back and going backwards. Like, all of that is kind of part of the right path. But that doesn't mean it's not rough to go through. This is a waxing moon, at least from the direction we're looking at it. So it really feels like something was growing, something was progressing, and then it came to a standstill. And the more I sit with this energy, it kind of feels like paralysis. Like, I think it's called decision paralysis or like analysis paralysis, where we just get overwhelmed analyzing the different options. Yeah, I feel like we need to reconnect with our sense of direction. And there's maybe been a disappointment in the recent past that is making you wary of moving forward. And so you're kind of just staying where you are. That's how I feel about the present situation. So let's take a look at what's in the near future for you. We have the High Priestess, water energy again. The High Priestess actually has connections to all water signs. So again, I feel like Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy is really significant. Also, there's repeating imagery of snakes. There's 2 snakes on, oh no, there's 4 on the 22 card, and then there's 2 snakes here as well. We're currently in the year of the snake. At the time that this is going up, we are approaching the end of 2025. This is of course a timeless reading, but maybe there's a message here for some that there was something that you hoped would be finished by this year, or something you hoped you would reach by the end of this year, and it's looking like that's not going to happen, which is okay, by the way. We have the Emperor. Ooh, these are really nice together. I love that they are 2 major arcana. This feels very empowering. The High Priestess is a beautiful card to get following this energy that we've previously seen, because until now we've been talking about confusion, complication, a sense of overwhelm, a lack of clarity. The High Priestess represents a deep inner knowing, being connected to your intuition and your internal guidance system. And I feel like that's exactly what you need. There's something that either had kind of knocked, no, because your compass was accurate, but maybe there was something that instilled a little bit of fear in trusting that compass or made you doubt the compass. Because again, it's like something or someone got in your head, but it was accurate all along. And so I feel like the High Priestess represents you rebuilding that relationship with your own internal guidance system and coming to really trust that compass again. I'm also noticing that the High Priestess has eyes where her heart is. That's a very clear message of your heart knows the way. Your heart will show you the way. Your heart sees the way forward. You may have a connection between your heart and your third eye, where you can your psychic abilities come through your heart, or your ability to see into the future, or like to see potential future timelines comes from your heart. We also have the Emperor, which is you taking charge of your life, which is you empowering yourself. You making yourself the most strong and important and influential person in your life. So no longer like giving away your power or decision-making powers to something outside of you. The Emperor has this ram head over his heart. So it feels like your heart is protected. Your heart is strong, it is intelligent, and it is protected. You are getting your power back and you are getting your trust in yourself back in the near future. This is near future energy. You could be gaining a new level of independence in the near future as well. So when it comes to the Emperor, I'll see things like starting your own business, getting your own place to live on your own, achieving financial freedom or financial independence. It's like you no longer have to depend on anything or anyone that you don't want in your energy. You can free yourself and become independent from those things, and you can live life on your own terms. So this is a beautiful message for those of you who are like, I don't want to be doing this, but I depend on it for security. I don't want to live here, but I don't have the freedom to leave by myself. Or I don't want to be living or working alongside these people, but I depend on them for XYZ. Those ties will be cut so that you can be free and you can be your own person. It's things like, getting your own place. I also just heard like getting your own car. You're gaining freedom because when you make a decision, I heard like you don't have to run it by anyone. Rather than being like, can we buy this? You're like, I'm going to buy it with my own money and I don't have to ask you. That's just one example, but that's like the energy that I feel with the Emperor. Okay, let's look at your energy for the farther future. Oh, I just knocked the table, sorry. The farther future for my group number 2s. Look at this! We have the 6 of Wands. That's victory. That's victory. That's overcoming difficulties. That's feeling proud of yourself, which we were literally talking about. Like, you need to be more proud of what you're doing. I mean, you can be as proud as you want or as not proud as you want, but I think your guides are saying you could have a lot more pride in what you're doing and share more what you're doing. This is feeling confident, feeling on top of the world. Again, 6 of Wands and Emperor is very much giving main character energy. I was wondering, like the 2 and 4 here, if that could be talking about the year 2024. 2024 could have been a particularly difficult month for my group number 2s. And then this card recently has been, I've been associating it with 2026 because it's a Jupiter in Leo card and that transit will be happening in 2026. So, okay. I'm seeing this progression. We're gonna make a little timeline for your career journey. I do feel like 2024 was a challenging year for my group 2s. And some of you are kind of going like this, like you're going upward, it's getting better. But for some of you, it feels like you were on a journey where you're like, 2024 was such a shitty year. Like, I really hope 2025 is better. And then it just got worse. But this is one of those situations where it gets worse before it gets better, or like it's darkest before the dawn. So not everyone is going to have linear progress, but I feel like 2026 is going to be, I heard, one of your best years yet. And I'm tasting white wine. That is so weird and specific. Maybe you're toasting to your victory because the Six of Wands is a victory card. You're being celebrated and you're finding your community too. The 11th house, it feels like your community in general, but more specifically, the Six of Wands feels like admirers, could even be followers and fans for some of you, depending on what type of work you do. For those of you who have aspirations to become famous or to be in the public eye, or even to work with public figures, like, I don't know, maybe you want to, again, really specific, maybe you want to produce a talk show, you know, or you want to be a photographer for famous brands or something like that. If you either want to be famous or help with the production of famous things or people, this is a really good card. This is a sign that you're going to be able to do that. You'll probably also gain recognition by a major entity, like a really well-known company, or I just heard committee, a really well-known committee, or a really well-known individual. Another example that I can think of is I just bought a pair of earrings recently, and when you go on the website, that website shows like these are all the celebrities who have worn our jewelry. So maybe you have a brand that a bunch of famous people end up liking, or really like well-respected people use your services or something like that. But also, you're not for everyone, and that's okay. You don't have to be for everyone. You just have to know who your people are and focus on them. That's how you're going to be really successful. If you try to please everyone, you will please no one, I just heard. Because there will be a lack of consistency. We have the Six of Cups, 2 sixes. Oh my gosh, bottom of the deck is also a 6. The Six of Swords. And that's literally like things are getting better, things are looking up. I also love that in all 3 of these cards, it looks like a dawn. It looks like a morning. This pastel-y sky, this yellow golden sky. It literally looks like the dawn after the dark night. The Six of Swords is peaceful times after really like trying times, the end of a turbulent situation. It can talk about mental health improving. It can talk about more clarity, like more mental and emotional clarity. It can talk about travel, relocation, moving. I want to mention too, in a lot of Six of Swords cards, we'll see several people in the boat, but this person is alone. So again, there's that feeling of independence, of going off somewhere on your own. I definitely see a community and a support system in your future, but you may have to embark on a journey like independently in order to find them. And then with the Six of Cups, this is Scorpio again, actually. Water signs seem to be significant, but also fixed signs. So the fixed signs are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. But yeah, the Six of Cups feels like you found where you belong. Like, this is my home. These are my people. This is my place. You really feel like you're doing what you're meant to do. And I heard it feels easy, but this is an emotional easy. What I mean by that is you could very well be working hard and you could very well be doing something that is objectively difficult for your work. Like, not everybody can do it. It requires a lot of skill. So I don't mean easy in that sense, but easy emotionally. Like, it's easy to choose myself. It's easy to commit to this path. You feel very certain about it. For some of you, this journey is leading to you meeting or reuniting with a soulmate. That's another interpretation that I often see with the Six of Cups. Something else that will probably be happening in the farther future is people from your past coming forward again, coming out of the woodwork. Some of them may be people you want to hear from, and others may not be. Because judging from the energy of this spread, I could definitely see a situation where there was a person who didn't support you before, and now that you're successful, suddenly they're coming forward and wanting to support you and wanting to be back in your life. And maybe they're going to be apologetic and stuff like that. There's no right answer, of course, about whether or not you should let them back into your life. That will be really up to you based on how you feel. With that being said, there may be people from your past who are returning that you're really happy to see, especially, like I said, a reunion with a soulmate, with a divine counterpart, something like that. I think you're finding your soul's home, and your soul's home is not necessarily a place, but it's who you are, what you're doing, how you're expressing yourself that makes you feel like you're at home. And so whatever environment you're in is permitting you to be and express yourself in a way that feels like home. This is lovely energy. And I can't remember if I said this already. I think I did, but just, it's really beautiful that we have this number 6 repeating, because it's like good health, harmony, love in your life. Okay. We're going to pull some cards for advice. I feel like there's been a lot of advice throughout this reading, but let's see what else we get for you. We have Cow. A new beginning or even a new life may be blooming. We have New Moon. The time is ripe for seeking new opportunities. Okay, new beginning, new opportunity. Ooh. This almost fell off the table. Moon in Aries. Remain sensitive to others to avoid confrontation. The months of April and May could be significant as well. We also had mentioned November, so feel free to claim all of those or whichever one is happening soonest from the time that you are watching this. There's definitely strong signs of a new era. I feel like you are going to find the new opportunity through some kind of research, and I'm seeing this process of you submitting an application and getting accepted. What I want to say though is, for some of you, it is going to be a formal application process or a formal audition process. So, you know, the other party puts out an announcement like, hey, we're looking for people, we're hiring, we're recruiting right now. You go through the formal application process, you make it happen. Some of you could be going through a virtual application process. So for example, like doing an audition over Zoom or doing a job interview over the phone, because maybe it's like long distance or maybe it's a remote job or something like that. But then others of you, it seems like you are seeking out, how do I say that? The word coming to my mind is unorthodox. So it's like you read between the lines and thought, maybe there's an opportunity here, rather than the other party outright saying, hello, we have an opportunity. Who would like to take it? It's, for some of you, it's not going to be like that. It's you observing the situation and saying like, oh, maybe there's an opportunity for me there. So this is a really easy example, but let's say there's a YouTuber you watch and they're like, I hate editing. I hate making thumbnails. I hate doing all that stuff. I'm so tired. And you're like, I love editing. Maybe I should reach out to them, right? So it's not like that YouTuber was explicitly saying, I would like to hire someone to be my editor, but you kind of pick up from what they're saying, maybe I can help them with my skills. So I do think you're going to find the opportunity and you're going to seek it out, but just remember that it won't necessarily be through some kind of job hunting thing or something official. You may just kind of pick up like, maybe my services are going to be needed here. So keep your eyes peeled. I'll say that for your advice. Keep your eyes peeled and maybe like asking the question again, what type of person do I want to work with or work for? And who needs my skills? Who needs my services? Where will my skills be useful? Focusing on what you can give, focusing on who would be served by you. Now I'm tasting mochi, just like plain mochi. I was tasting in group 1 as well. The Claire Gustins is strong today. Okay. For some reason, I feel like mentioning tok as well, which I think is like the Korean version of mochi, kind of. All right. Couple more cards for my group 2s. Woo! We have 25, which just fell on the floor. The 25th of a month could be significant. We have 22 and 25. That could be like dates from the 22nd to the 25th. It could also be talking about the years, 2022 to 2025. Change, big decisions, new sense of self, sadness, difficulty in adapting, heartbroken. For some of you, this being stuck could, like, the inability to move forward. While for some of you, it may be a fear of what lies ahead, for others of you, it may be like a resistance to letting go of the past. I kind of see you reaching this point though, where you're like, I heard you can't take it anymore. And you just want to radically change your life or become a new version of yourself and completely let go of the past. I will also say, this is just personal for me. 2 and 5 together is a sign of aligning with your soulmate or aligning with your soul family. We have January 25th, could be a significant date for some of you. And we have coming soon. Jan, coming soon. Okay, let's read these. The wait is coming to an end. What is yours will always come towards you when it is meant to. And then on the January card, we have fearless, resilient. My ears are ringing. Rebellious, mischievous, fun, and troublemaker. You're becoming fearless and bold simply because you're tired of standing still. It feels like you're just saying, fuck it. Like, I'm tired of being here. I'm tired of being in this stagnant situation, and I'm gonna do something bold to get myself out of it. So I think you're gonna be making some drastic changes to your life, and I'm really proud of you, Group 2. The road ahead is exciting, and your boldness will be rewarded. And I feel this sense of relief and happiness too, that you're reconnecting with your inner compass. It's like on the outside, you're making these loud, bold moves. And then on the inside, there's like this quiet and peace and serenity. You and your higher self winking at each other because you know you're on the right path. This is a beautiful reading of like getting your power back and getting your spark back. So thank you for letting me do this reading for you, group number 2. Those are all the messages that I have for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my memberships where you can watch the extended readings that go up every month, and you can also watch full-length exclusive pick a card readings, and my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video that is an original song. I'll also have my latest release linked down below. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, your higher self, anyone who appeared in this reading, their higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on Earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hi, number 3s. So if you guys chose the Angelite moon, that was so weird. I almost said Angelite heart. That's very much not a heart. Anyway, if you chose the Angelite moon, this is going to be a reading. Actually, I do have an Angelite heart. Let me go get her. There. The Angelites can be together. So here is the breakdown of today's reading. So we are going to see the energy surrounding your career, and we're going to look at a timeline from the present to the near future to the far future. And then we are going to get some advice for you pertaining to your career journey. So without further ado, let's get into it. What are the energies surrounding group number 3's career? We have a conjunction, fixed, and Capricorn. Okay, when I saw conjunction, I thought maybe this is going to be a message about something lining up, and then fixed came out after that. So this has the energy of something that is locking into place. You are finally getting something balanced and it's staying there. Now there's a visual coming to my mind of, you know, when you adjust a photo frame on the wall so that it's level? I'm seeing this analogy of constantly having to adjust the photo frame because it keeps sliding just a little bit off angle. And then finally, maybe you're finding a different kind of hook, or you're just figuring out the right way to do it so that once you align it back into place, it stays there. This could also be the energy of like finding a permanent solution to a problem. Whereas in the past, all you could figure out were temporary fixes. This will solve the issue for now. I just heard I'll feel better for a while. So maybe some of you were solving a problem with how you felt, like physically, emotionally, mentally. This will fix the issue for a while, but eventually the problem's gonna come back up and I'll have to deal with it again. Now you're figuring out how to fix something for good, or how to line something up for good and you won't have to deal with it again. For some of you, this could be like a bug. I'm thinking of when you have a computer and it's like glitching or it keeps like crashing, and you have kind of like an unofficial temporary way to fix it, but now you're like, you figured out the actual root of the problem and it's not going to happen anymore. Maybe you just completely got a new computer. I don't know how you solved this problem, but it's not going to happen again. That's what this feels like. Something is locking into place. There could also be an energy of team members aligning. Okay, we're all on the same page now. We have all overcome this conflict, and so this discussion is not going to come up again. It's fixed for good. Everything's in place, everything's where it's meant to be, and it's fixed for good. I feel a lot of relief with this message. I'm also seeing, there's a lot of examples coming through, by the way, and please feel free to claim all of them, okay? It doesn't just have to be like one or the other. I'm seeing an example of like a software that like a bug keeps happening in the software, and then the clients are always complaining. And it's like, oh my gosh, we have to deal with this like on a daily basis. Like, we're sorry, it's not our fault, it's a problem with the software. And then the software is getting updated and suddenly that problem doesn't arise anymore. Whatever this is, it's like a huge relief. I feel like your workflow is going to become more easy, more efficient. I'm hearing the word streamlined. You and your coworkers, you and your team seem to be really seeing eye to eye right now. If you have like a customer base or a client base, it seems like you are aligned in your visions, you're communicating well, you understand each other well. I think communication is going to be really smooth. And then we have Capricorn. I feel like this makes a lot of sense because Capricorn is the sign of efficiency and getting shit done. So you are going to get a lot of work done in the next few months. And it's not even because you're working harder. It's because everything is working as it should. So a lot of the frustrations and delays that you may have experienced previously in your workflow are not going to be there. Another specific message that's coming through is that something you wish existed is finally being invented. So this is really specific. Maybe it's just for a few of you, but I'm imagining you're in your workflow, you're working on your projects, you're working on your craft, you're doing your work, and you're like, damn it, I wish there was, for example, I wish there was an app that did XYZ, or I wish there was a plugin that did XYZ. I wish there was some software that did this, or I wish this kind of equipment existed, and someone is inventing it. And you're like, thank God, I have been dreaming of this day. This is gonna be amazing for my workflow. And I love that because it's a relief, but also I feel like going to work and getting stuff done is gonna be exciting again. It's not like, for example, you're getting out of bed and you're like, oh, here we go again, another day of bullshit. It's like everything is flowing perfectly. Everything is working. There's a lot of frustrating situations that are coming to an end. So let's take a look at your timeline, starting, of course, with the present. By the way, Tarot Stack and I are giving away a copy of this Oracle deck. It's the Celestial Bodies Oracle, and we're going to be giving away a travel edition. So there is a giveaway on Instagram. If you like the deck and you want a chance to win a free copy of it, I'll have that link down below, and feel free to check it out. I should have said this in the other groups, but it's ending in a few days. I think it's like until November 12th. All right, group number 3s. energies represent the present in your career journey. Four of Swords. Things are calming down. Things are settling down. Sometimes this card can talk about inaction and stillness, although in your case, I don't necessarily see it that way because I do think your work life is eventful right now. I think you're busy. I think you're getting stuff done. So I'm interpreting this energy more as a peacefulness, like an inner peace, a serenity. Things are going smoothly. Something is quiet. Your workplace could be getting quieter. If I take this quite literally, if you had, for example, annoying neighbors, if there was construction going on near your workplace and it was really annoying to hear those sounds all day, maybe you had, what are those things called? Water cooler or a vending machine in your workplace that made an annoying humming sound all day. Some kind of annoyance is leaving as well. But I also thought about like your inbox is really quiet in a good way. Imagine if there was some issue with the software and you're getting emails from clients like several times a day. Like, hey, what's going on? This isn't working. Can you fix this for me? Can you address this issue? Like the phone is quiet, the emails are quiet. There's everything's working as it should, so that makes the day more quiet because it's not like someone is coming to you every hour asking you to fix something. So you can really focus on what you want to focus on. Four of Swords could also indicate that you are getting better sleep, that you have healthier boundaries now between your work life and your personal life, which could be interpreted as people are respecting the boundaries that you set. So, okay, I won't contact you after work hours, or you are setting better boundaries with yourself. You're not checking your email after work hours. You're not worrying about it. You're not thinking about it. You're putting your phone on silent. You're not checking stats. You're not checking analytics when you're supposed to be having your personal time. You're not thinking about work in your personal time. You're having more restful days off. So after a day off, you actually feel rested and recharged. After a night's sleep, you actually feel like you slept. We have the Seven of Wands. This is interesting imagery. And it's making me kind of interpret it differently than I normally would. There's something like, okay, let me take a second to ground this message. First of all, less is more. You may be entering an era of your career that is more focused on simplicity, maybe even minimalism. I want to say that this could especially be the case for those of you who are creatives, or if you work in something like visuals, aesthetics, branding, design. You're making things more simple. There's this philosophy of simple is best. That is not a textbook interpretation of the Seven of Wands. I mean, Seven of Wands can indicate like you're doing too much. So maybe in an indirect way, it's an interpretation of this card. But that's one thing that was coming through. Also, finding a loophole, because I'm looking at this fence and the fence is more sparse here. So you could kind of get through and run for the hills and run towards the sun. For some of you, this is also like you're just barely making it. You're just barely meeting the criteria for something. I don't know why this is the example coming to my mind, but if I remember correctly, to do a working holiday in Japan, it's like between the ages of 18 and 30, I think. I don't know, but there's an age range that you're allowed to apply for it. And maybe you apply for the working holiday when you're like 29. So you just kind of made it, you just met the criteria. You are getting an advantage in some way or getting approval for something because of a loophole or a technicality or something like that. I'm also hearing something is being voided and that works in your favor. You could also be getting a significant refund or an expense is being waived. The Seven of Wands can have a meaning about like defending yourself and proving yourself. And when this card appears in a reading, I would often give advice of like, you don't have to work so hard to prove yourself. In this reading, it feels kind of positive, like you are proving yourself. Ooh, that message just made me really excited. So it doesn't matter how long you've been in your industry. If you are a newcomer in your industry, then you are proving I deserve to be here. You know, I may be new here, but I know what the heck I'm doing, and I'm gonna show that I'm worthy of bigger opportunities. If you have been in your industry for a long time, you're reminding people, because for those of you who have been in your industry for a long time, there's a feeling of like you've gained a lot of respect over the years. Maybe you've gained a certain title or a certain high position. And you're like, let me remind people how I earned my spot. So, and this is the present energy. So you're going to be doing some of your best work very soon, or you're currently working on what is some of your best work. Just as an example, I'm thinking of a musician. Let's say there's a musician who's earned the title of like the queen, and then they go away for a while and come back. And they're like, let me remind you guys why you call me the queen. Let me remind you how I earned that title, and dropping some of your best work. So if you're new, you are proving your place there. If you have been here for a while, you're reminding everyone like how you got your place. And you're not done yet. You're not done doing excellent work yet. What people maybe thought was your peak, that's not your peak. Like you're still soaring, you're still ascending, you're still improving. And we have the Knight of Wands. You're gaining more confidence. For some of you, if you felt like you kind of lost confidence in your career journey or in your ability to do a good job, in your ability to contribute in a meaningful way, I think that confidence is coming back. I think you're about to receive a really positive review or really positive feedback, either from a large number of people or from one person whose opinion really matters to you. You could be getting a lot of 5-star reviews. You could be getting a lot of business from word of mouth. People are coming forward to praise you. So you're reminding people, but they're also reminding you, like, you deserve all of the success. You deserve all of the blessings in your career. This feels like a renewed confidence. It feels like a renewed motivation. I don't think that you were ever entirely like unmotivated or disinterested in your work, but you're certainly becoming more motivated and more interested in the coming months, or maybe even in the coming year. With that being said, let's look at the near future. What will this energy bring you in the near future? Something that's coming through is that as you've gotten older, you are still motivated to push yourself, but you're less willing to push yourself to the point of compromising your well-being. So maybe a younger version of you would have worked really, really hard and overexerted yourself to the point of like sleep deprivation or like accumulating stress and anxiety in your body, not nourishing yourself properly because you're so focused on work, or not being able to nourish yourself properly because you're so consumed with meeting people's expectations that you lose track of time and of taking care of yourself. Younger you would have done that and been like, oh, it's part of the grind. But as you get older, you're like, oh, I still want to work hard. I still want to be ambitious, but it's not worth it to me anymore to do it to that point. So from now on, you are building your success in a more sustainable way. And you're not afraid, you're no longer afraid to say no of things. Say no of things, that's not. You're no longer afraid to say no to things out of like fear of a missed opportunity. Because your well-being is the most important. So if you're like, no, I feel like that's gonna be too stressful. No, if I take that on, then I'm not going to be able to get enough sleep. I know myself. I know how much rest I need. I know how much, like, what do you call it? Nourishment I need. And that's my priority. If I miss the opportunity, I miss it. Actually, you didn't miss the opportunity missed you. It's their loss. But you put yourself first, and that means your well-being. Okay, what's happening in the near future? We have the Seven of Swords, kind of specific message, and why do I feel like you're not gonna like this message? Some of you are gonna start being more active on social media. I feel this energy, like many of you do not like social media. And it's like, oh, I don't wanna have to do that. But I feel like in the near future, you might be becoming more consistent or using it as a tool for inspiration. Be careful. Just be careful about your intellectual property. Because the Seven of Swords can talk about sneaky stuff going on. And just the way these feet are walking away and taking the swords with them. Swords can represent, you know, our mind, our thoughts, our ideas. Just be careful about someone stealing your idea, or be careful about someone taking your words out of context. And in the words of Victasia, the amazing tarot reader, rapper, singer, and dear friend of mine, if it raised suspicion, trust your gut because I said so. I don't normally give advice like this, but for the next while, kind of like err on the side of caution and being suspicious of people. If you have a gut feeling of like, you know, sometimes you'll see someone else's work and you're like, did they copy me? No, they probably, you know, it's a lot of people could have a similar idea, or no, they didn't copy me. Like maybe they were just kind of inspired by it. Maybe it was an accident. It was just a coincidence. I feel like maybe if you get the inkling that someone is copying you, they might be. So just be aware of that. I do think there's truth to imitation is the highest form of flattery, but when there's money involved, you don't want someone stealing your hard work or you not getting the proper credits for your work. So just be aware of that. And this is probably more so a message for those of you who already have those concerns. And maybe this is a confirmation to look into that further, or, you know, take some action to protect yourself. If this isn't ringing any bells, don't worry about it. The Ten of Pentacles flipped over. I want to pull one more. Oh my gosh. Look what we have. The 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups. That's crazy. So this is like the epitome of material fulfillment, and this is the epitome of emotional fulfillment. And I literally just saw 2626 as I'm holding these up. 2626. That number could be significant for some of you. Could possibly be the age 26, the year 2026, which is coming up soon at the time that I'm filming this. February 6th or June 2nd could be significant dates. But anyway, those are actually beautiful numbers of balance, reciprocity. You're really like emotionally and spiritually connected to your work. So it's like when you show up and do your work, you're giving a part of yourself to the world, and then the world gives a part of them back to you. And it's this beautiful energy exchange. The fact that these both came out in succession seems to be really clearly saying that you don't have to choose between being professionally successful and being emotionally fulfilled. You can have both. And again, I feel like this is something you're realizing more and more as you get older. And yes, they're related. Like, you get emotional fulfillment from your work. It's not like your material success and your emotional fulfillment are separate, but there are boundaries that exist between your professional life and your personal life that I think you're getting better at maintaining. Going back to that social media message, like, there may be some aspect of your business that requires you to use it a bit more. For example, like if all of your competitors, you maybe don't see them as your competitors, but like others in your industry are all using it and you're not, it may just be advantageous to use it a little bit. But you don't have to share anything about your personal life or anything like that, or, you know, follow trends that you think are silly, but just to find your people, to find your community. Could be a nice tool. I'm just putting it out there. But why was I talking about that? Maybe you really are finding some amazing connections from it. Some of my best friends I met through social media or through my YouTube channel. We're gonna get into advice later on in the reading, but there is something coming up about seeing social media as a tool to find your people and connect with like-minded people, rather than a tool to just promote yourself one-sidedly. But yeah, to view it as this opportunity of energy exchange. You are sharing your gifts with others, they're sharing their gifts with you. Like, what it was meant to be, what it was meant for in the good old days. Yeah, just take that if it resonates. But yeah, interestingly, that's like coming up a few times in this reading. Anyway, the main point of all of this was to show that, and this is a near future. These are the near future cards showing that you are feeling fulfilled professionally and personally, and striking a really good balance between those. My eyes are going towards this Knight of Wands has like the yellow on their head. Maybe it's just a helmet, right? It has yellow on its head. And then this person has yellow above their head. So maybe blonde hair is significant, or a spirit guide or an angel who has a yellow aura. Something about it being above your head. I'm thinking about, ooh, I feel like a tingling in my crown chakra. Yeah, this could be a spirit guide with a yellow aura. Oh, I'll put them like this. We are going to pull some cards now for your farther future. For those of you, if you have children, or if you envision yourself having children in the future, I just heard something like your child would want to have the same career as you because they see you doing it and just like they think you're so cool and they really look up to you. We have the 8 of Pentacles. That's beautiful because I feel like you've already proven yourself, or you are going to prove yourself very soon to be extremely competent and worthy of the highest opportunities in your field. But even in the long-term future, I feel like you have this mindset of like, you're in a perpetual state of learning. You're in a perpetual state of improving and perfecting your craft, meaning you don't get comfortable and start like dropping the ball. Or you're always humble enough that like, yes, I may know a lot, I may be capable of a lot, but I can always get better. I can always learn more. There's always someone who can teach me something. You're like a forever student of your craft. I feel like you're really invested in whatever work it is that you're doing. You may even go back to school or go back into training or take a course in the longer term future to become like a really, really, really expert at something. If you don't already do this, you may learn to teach a certain subject. So, or like reach a new level that requires a whole other qualification. I can use an easy example. Like, it takes a lot of skill to master a language, but it takes a whole other level of skill to be able to become a translator and interpreter in that language. It's like a different level of mastery. It's even like a different skill, you know? Just because you're bilingual doesn't mean you can be an interpreter of those languages. And that's kind of a misconception that I think people have. And I'm sure there's examples of that in other industries or with regards to other skills. So it seems like you're taking that extra step in the farther future where like you're becoming even more of an expert, or you're getting qualification to be a teacher or an instructor of your craft, or you're also gaining more influence. I just heard legend status, so take that if it resonates. You know, someone whom people will talk about and reference for a long time to come. Why am I thinking of scuba diving right now? You need a license to do that, right? I guess I was talking about qualifications and then my brain was like, scuba diving license. Sure. Let me know if someone up there has one. That would be funny. Okay. One more for my group 3s. Oh, 2 more apparently. We have the Page of Swords and the Queen of Coins. This is actually really sweet. So I feel like the Page represents child you and the Queen represents adult you. And then of course we have the Swords, which represents an idea, and a coin, which represents something tangible. So this feels like quite literally an idea or a thought that you had in childhood or in your younger years becoming a reality when you're older. To put it more simply, a childhood dream coming true, or the fruition of something that had been on your mind for a long time. So this may be something in the farther future, but things that you have envisioned for yourself and things that you have dreamed for yourself will ultimately come true. Yeah, you may be a bit older than the age you envisioned yourself having those things, but it is going to happen. So, for example, you imagined yourself getting married at 25, but you ended up getting married when you're 32. Just a random example, right? Even though this is a career reading, that is what came to my mind. I wonder, like, if some of you have been really, really dedicated to your career and it's going really well, but then you're kind of wondering in the back of your mind, like, but when am I going to get married? But when am I going to have a family? That could just be for some of you. But yeah, there's a feeling of the age you're at when you manifest it might be older than what you thought, but it looks exactly as you imagined it. It makes you feel exactly as you imagined it. It's just as wonderful as you imagined it. Okay, let's pull some cards for advice for my group number 3s. We have Moon in Libra. Avoid making serious decisions and instead focus on creating harmony within your relationships. I definitely think look, I think you take your work very seriously and take your craft very seriously, as you should. But I do feel with this, like, avoid making serious decisions, there is a little piece of advice to approach things in a more lighthearted way and to focus on connection, like to put connecting with others at the heart of what you do. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. I can actually use myself as an example. A couple nights ago, I performed for the first time in front of like a lot of people, and I was so nervous. But then I realized, like, the whole point of a performance is to connect with people and have a good time with people. So when I thought about it from the perspective of, I have to prove that I'm good, it didn't feel good. I have to prove that I won't mess up and I'll be perfect. That doesn't feel good. But if I'm like, oh, I can just go and connect with people and dance with people and have fun, then it's fun. So, of course, apply that to your situation, but putting connection at the heart of what you do will just make everything feel a lot better, I think. Then we have cat and hare. That's kind of cool because year of the rabbit in Vietnam is a year of the cat. Fun fact. It may be in other countries as well. I'm not sure. So it's funny that they came out together. And our last year of the rabbit/cat was 2023. Yeah. So maybe that was a significant year for some of you. We have make time to focus on your own spiritual well-being and connect to the metaphysical world around you. It is an auspicious time for new beginnings. This together feels like a spiritual awakening or a new level of your spiritual awakening. So there is also a piece of advice to connect more to your spirituality. Maybe you will gain answers and insights about your career journey through your spiritual practice, or connecting to your spirituality will give you more of a sense of purpose in what you do and may even help to alleviate some of the pressures that you feel. Some of you could have cats or rabbits as pets, whether they're on Earth or on the other side. Their presence is here in this reading. And we have Moon in Gemini. Stress may be an issue during this time. So stress reduction is important too. Maybe there are some animals or animal spirits around you who will help to alleviate your stress. And I want to say that air sign moons could be significant because we actually have all of them in this reading. The Seven of Swords that came out before, that's associated with the moon in Aquarius. And then we have moon in Libra, moon in Gemini. So all the air sign moons are here. Shout out to the air sign moons. And Aquarius energy in general, I feel like is significant. I think you've been on an ongoing journey of like stress reduction, also maybe healing anxiety, both anxiety that might come up in the moment versus a more kind of long-term deep-seated anxiety. I see that being healed. You could be working through nerves or stage fright or performance anxiety, which I think can appear in a lot of different fields of work, especially when you're like talking to other people, when you're one-on-one with someone. You may have nerves or anxiety surrounding like presenting, performing, speaking, or how you come off to others. And I don't think this is necessarily advice because I think you're already doing the right things to heal this. If anything, I guess I would give advice to be patient with yourself because overcoming that discomfort is an ongoing process and it's not linear. And I think your guides just want to tell you that you're doing an amazing job and it will get better and it will get easier. Yeah, there's something about you being like uncomfortable talking to people. Maybe like in your job, you have to do one-on-one calls with clients, or you have to do one-on-one interviews. I keep wanting to say one-on-one, so that might be, maybe some of you are doing like one-on-one readings, like if you're a reader. That might be something that makes you kind of nervous. Like I can do big numbers of people, but for some reason one-on-one makes me nervous. Or it might be the other way around for some of you. One-on-one makes you nervous, but large groups make you uncomfortable. But I feel like you're going to get comfortable with all sorts of social situations. And I don't really think there's a particular like tip or hack to help you with this. I think it's just repeated experience and time. Quite plainly. So I think your guides just want to say be patient with yourself, and you're already doing an amazing job. And if you are someone who feels nervous when you're presenting something or talking to someone in a work context, you may think that your nerves are showing, but I don't think they are. I think you actually come across as quite charming. Yeah. Okay, group 3. Those are all of the messages that I have for you. So I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my memberships where you can watch the extendeds that go up every month. You can also watch exclusive full-length pick a card readings, and my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video that is an original song. I'll also have my latest release linked down below. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, your higher self, anyone who appeared in this reading, their higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.